Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching Samaa News. Here are today's headlines. Negotiations between the United States and Iran have entered their final phase, but key disagreements remain over the release of frozen Iranian assets. According to a source familiar with the talks, discussions are now focused on how portions of Iran's frozen funds would be unlocked under a potential agreement between Washington and Tehran. While progress has been reported on other elements of the deal, the financial mechanism for releasing the assets is still seen as a major sticking point. US President Donald Trump says negotiations with Iran are progressing positively and that a potential agreement could be within reach. Speaking to reporters, Trump said talks with Tehran are going very well and suggested a breakthrough could come within days. His comments come despite repeated statements from Iranian officials downplaying the prospects of any major agreement being finalized soon. Iran's supreme leader, Mujtaba Khamenei, says the country's adversaries have failed militarily and are now shifting tactics toward internal destabilization efforts. In a written message delivered during commemorations marking the death anniversary of Islamic Republic founder Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, Khamenei said external actors are now attempting to weaken Iran through division and psychological pressure. He described these actions as part of what he called hybrid warfare, aimed at undermining national cohesion rather than direct battlefield confrontation. Israel and Lebanon have agreed to implement a ceasefire to end hostilities, in a boost to hopes for a broader deal to end the US-Israeli war on Iran. A joint statement released by the US State Department following negotiations in Washington said the Israel-Lebanon ceasefire is contingent on a complete cessation of fire from the Iran-aligned Hezbollah militia and the evacuation of all its operatives from the South Litani sector.
Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps has said that there can be no lasting peace in the region unless Israel withdraws from Lebanese territory. In a statement carried by Iranian media, the IRGC called for an immediate halt to attacks in Lebanon and urged Israel to pull back behind internationally recognized borders. The statement comes as Israel continues to strike Lebanon despite a fresh ceasefire. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz made it clear that the attacks would continue for the time being, while the occupation forces would not withdraw from the south. On the other hand, the European Council has approved a new €100 million assistance package for the Lebanese armed forces under the European Peace Facility. The funding is aimed at strengthening Lebanon's ability to secure its territory, protect civilians, and maintain state control over arms, bringing total EU military assistance to Lebanon to €182 million.
Meanwhile, the Republican-led US House of Representatives has approved a resolution to block President Donald Trump from continuing the war against Iran, reflecting growing concern among members of his party about the 3-month-old conflict. The House voted 215 to 208, as 4 Republicans voted with Democrats in favor of the War Powers Resolution, which directs Trump to withdraw US troops from Iran unless Congress declares war or authorizes the use of military force.
In response, President Trump criticized the House vote calling for the withdrawal of American troops from the Iran conflict, describing the move as unpatriotic. In a social media post, Trump said the vote came during what he called crucial negotiations with Iran and accused political opponents of undermining efforts to end the war.
The US military has said it carried out a strike on a vessel in the Eastern Pacific, killing 2 people. The US Southern Command said on X that intelligence had confirmed that the vessel was engaged in narco trafficking operations. Under the Trump administration, the US military has conducted numerous such attacks.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has said that Moscow would defeat Ukraine on the battlefield if necessary, but was ready to end the war via diplomacy and honor unspecified compromises he said had been agreed with President Donald Trump. Speaking at an economic forum, Putin said Russian forces were advancing on the battlefield and urged Kyiv to accept the compromises as well.
A Nepali Sherpa guide has been rescued from the slopes of Mount Everest after surviving for nearly a week without food or supplemental oxygen. According to officials, 52-year-old Dawa Sherpa went missing while descending the mountain after an unsuccessful summit attempt. He was later found and rescued in what authorities are describing as a rare survival story under the extreme conditions of the world's highest peak.
And at least 4 people were killed after a small plane that took off from Germany crashed in the northwestern Croatian region of Istria, near the coastal town of Medulin. Rescue teams were reportedly searching for additional occupants, while emergency services, police and firefighters remained at the crash site.
That's all for now. For more updates, visit www.samaa.tv. Thank you for watching Samaa News.